You are witnessing the first base positional rankings of RotoFanatic.com and all of her wonderful crew. That's right, we're a ship at sea, and this is the crew that makes it all happen. I'm Michael Govier. We got Paul Mamino, Matt Williams, Mike Carter, Mr. Doctor, of course, and Davey Funnel in the Great White North. If you want to know about first base, this is where it happens right here. We have all of our positional ranking shows as they come out in one playlist right here. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, RotoFanatic, and check out the catcher rankings, which we've done, and this first base rankings. And then we'll keep going in order from here. Whenever you're watching this, you might have been watching it in, I don't know, 3 months from now. Who knows? Either way, we're going to talk about first base in 2022 for your fantasy baseball prep, which is all brought to you by RotoFanatic.com. Check out the Data Monster. Check out our Twitter handle at Roto_Fanatic. That's where you'll really lead all the information you need to know about us from there. It's a great spot to start your RotoFanatic adventure. Right, Matt?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
See? Dynamite drop-in, Monty. He's not the best in the business for nothing. All right, so we just did our catcher show, so we're fired up. We are just jonesing. I mean, did that catcher show inspire you, Mike, or what?
I'm always inspired. I love talking about this stuff, especially in the middle of winter. I mean, we've got no CBA. We've got to have something to think about that's going to get the juices flowing and be thinking about what's going to be happening in 2022. Let's do this.
Davey Funnel, how many drafts have you done so far?
So far, I haven't done any. I have done zero. I've done a lot of drafts, but I have done zero. I know.
You've got nothing to do with
this on January 12th, man. It's still early.
35 degrees below zero. You should be doing drafts.
I know. All right, I'll be right back. Let me do my first. No, but I plan on doing some.
Of course you will. You are, you finished 7th at TGFBI in 2020. That was really good. So you know what you're doing in case you guys need credentials.
I'll take it.
Okay, good. You're very modest as always, Davey. He really knows his stuff, though. And Paul, in New Jersey, what is baseball like in New Jersey these days?
It's really cold. It's been like sub-zero wind chills the past couple days, so I don't think there's very much baseball going on.
Yeah, you're right. That was a dumb question, and I'll take responsibility for your answer as well. All right, so let's get into first base rankings right here. It's where it all happens. We're going to do tiers, just like we did for catchers. Tiers. And we're leading the way with tier number 1. Tier number 1 is pretty easy, isn't it, Matt?
So is tier number 2.
Great. So we can just move to tier 3. We're almost done with the show. Excellent.
Seriously, Vlad's tier 1, Freeman's tier 2, and then there's a tier 3, right? Does anyone disagree with that?
I think Freeman should be in tier 1.
I do
On
too.
what planet?
The couple of bags he steals is worth it.
Anybody else?
Is he what is he noticeably worth? Like,
He's every category. That's
not noticeable. Like, okay, what Vlad's what do you have, Vlad? 330. Freeman's 310.
It's 20 points.
You think Vlad's going to hit 330?
Wow.
We're going.
I don't think Freeman's going to hit 310 either.
All right. So where do you have batting average then?
Well, no, I mean, basically you have like a younger version of Freeman who's already better, and then Freeman's getting older. It's just, I don't know. I think there's a separation there.
I mean, I don't have an issue with.
I mean, really, it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Well, I guess when I think of tiers, it's you don't care who you get in between all the players, and everyone will pick Vlad over Freeman. That's, I guess, how I'm thinking of it. I guess that's how you define tiers, because I don't think the draft Freeman over Guerrero. So that's why I have them in their own specific tiers. Like Guerrero is ahead of everyone else. Freeman is ahead of everyone else. There's no other decision to be made. So that's, I guess that's how I define it myself.
That's an important caveat to mention. So I'm glad you said that, because to me, I don't always look at tiers that way. I just kind of see how they group together in a draft zone within the ADP and then the overall draft itself and how everyone else is viewing the players. It kind of just comes together in a weird experiential formula for me, but that's a good way to look at it. I have no beef with that.
It's all on you to find. Like me, if like tier 3, just throwing it out there, was like Olsen, Goldschmidt, Alonso. It's like, I don't care who I get of those 3. As long as I get one of them, I could care less. I have a strong preference between Guerrero and Freeman. That's why I would tier them differently. But again, I guess that's in how eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I think with Paul, I see these guys very tightly as well. Guerrero gave us like a massive apex last year, and what Freeman does every year, and where Guerrero could maybe just kind of balance out it, I think are very, very similar. That's how I see them. But what do you guys? I don't know. Anybody else? You guys vote as this being a singular tier or a double tier, Davey?
No, I agree with Matt. The thing that puts Vlad ahead of Freeman is that batting average that's a little more, I don't want to say stable, but it's up there. It's over the 300. I don't know if he hits 330, but
it was 300 versus 310 last year, with Freeman being horrific for the first half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know where you think Freeman will stay in Atlanta? Not that it matters really much where he goes.
If he goes to New York, does that make it worse?
Probably.
I think it makes it better.
I think he chokes in New York. I'm kidding. Well, no.
I just don't like the Yankees and
actually
Freddie
would
Freeman,
worry
so.
me. I think from fantasy, I would want him to stay put. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Are you? Oh God, I don't have a.
It wouldn't change anything for me, to be honest. I'm just talking.
Do you want to call it 1A and 1B, and leave it at that?
Yeah, for me, I think when I think of tiers, I think of like, would I be fine with having one of any of these guys in that grouping, right? And if Guerrero's ADP is 5, I'm probably never going to have him, right? I mean, I just don't see myself drafting him at this point. Am I okay with getting Freeman around later? I would be thrilled with getting Freeman around later. Am I going to probably get him? Probably not. So I guess what we're talking about, it depends on what your definition of tiering is. And I view them to go with what Matt said as tiering. I mean, I think Vlad is clearly the number 1. Freeman's clearly the number 2. And then after that is a bit of there's another 3 or 4 guys there that I would be okay with getting, but wouldn't put it in the first tier.
Yeah, okay. I'd still take Vlad, like hands down. Power.
Right.
There's people out
tier
there.
1, tier 2.
I don't agree with it, but I mean, there's people out there like Vlad Sedler. They're taking Vlad at like number 3 overall. They're expecting this guy to like possibly be the number 1 player overall, a la Pujols used to be. Yeah. Freeman ain't doing that. I mean, I agree with Paul, and I agree with me. So whatever everyone wants to do. I get it's how you think. It's like, all right, this is a tier. I don't know. I think Vlad deserves his own tier.
All right, that's fine.
That's fine. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Right, Paul? Let's do it.
Vlad 1, Freeman 2. That we ended up having way more discussion, I think, on that than we all thought we were going to.
Hold on. We have the discussion of how to read the tier. So at least
important.
everyone knows
well,
now.
That's probably an important discussion to have on a show where we discuss tiering players, right?
Does it look like we're doing this by the seat of our pants? Because I swear we're not.
Someone else besides me and Paul take the lead here on tier 3.
Well, is there a chance Olsen can move himself up? Do you think
Yes.
he takes another step wherever he goes? Right, he probably won't be in Oakland next year.
If he stays in Oakland, no way. He's not going to get the runs in RBIs.
I don't think I'd put. Right. I mean, I love Olsen. There's no way I'm putting him in with. You're talking about putting him with Freeman. I don't think he can do that.
You don't think he can go that? Like, what's the most optimal place for him to go to? That's plausible.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he'd be great in Yankee Stadium.
I mean, he was 39 home runs.
No, I know, but what's his batting average going to be?
250, 260, maybe.
All right.
Right.
Then what you're hoping for there is what Pete Alonso could literally do. So does that really separate him that much from Pete? That's why I think he belongs in the tier with Pete. I would rather have Olsen than Pete, for the record. I'm not being a homer. Zips hasn't projected for over 50 home runs, which is crazy for a projection system to project that for anyone. But
Danny, what are you doing, Danny?
I think Olsen's ceiling would be if he took a step forward with batting average. I think just going to Yankee Stadium, getting extra power, I don't think gets him that much closer. I think the thing that separates Freeman would be the batting average. I don't think Olsen can really catch him there.
No. I think this time next year, it's not ridiculous to have Freeman down a peg, Olsen up a peg, or someone in that next group up a peg, right? You run into with Freeman, you get the premium power and premium average that you don't get from the next grouping of first base.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I think right now, is he the most likely in this group to be in a tier with Freeman next year? Sure.
Yeah.
I won't argue that, but right now he's a clear.
Yeah. That was more my question, because I think of the next players we're going to talk about, I think he's the one that could probably take the biggest step of them all, and maybe even be his own tier.
Well, I think
from these.
Yeah, I think in this tier, this time next year, if 50% of this tier has dropped off, it wouldn't shock me. Yeah. I think there's 4 players in this tier, and I think you have Goldschmidt, Abreu, and Alonso. Mm-hmm. And if this time next year Goldschmidt looks old again, and Abreu finally doesn't have 100 RBIs or whatever it is.
Don't you say that, Paul.
I won't argue this because I'm getting shot down. I wouldn't put Abreu in this tier. I think the others. I
think you can argue that. I think you can argue that totally.
I think Alonso and Olsen have an upside that Abreu can't have at this point in his career, and Goldschmidt has that speed. So I have Olsen, Goldschmidt, Alonso in this tier.
You don't have the production, the RBI production that you get from, again, RBIs aren't quote unquote repeatable, but they're pretty repeatable for him. Do you think he stays the 260 hitter?
My thought with Abreu, honestly, being a Sox fan, is I think that they're going to rest him more this year because he was so dinged up last year. He was playing way too much, and he was always playing hurt, which I admire, but it really affected his play. And with the options that they have right now, with being able to DH Grandal if they have a real backup catcher, and with Vaughn and Sheets and these guys that are also able to take some first base at bats, that's one thing that I do worry about with Abreu. I mean, he's a productive guy, but he might not have the volume that he's had prior as he's aging. And what is he, 34?
35.
35. Well, I mean, I wish I was 35.
There it is on the screen. He is 34 years old and 348 days.
I'll say one thing. In NFBC ADP since like the end of December-ish, they're tearing off pretty similar to where we are. Vlad, it's average of about 7. Freeman at 22. Then Olsen, Goldschmidt, Alonso at 51, 59, and 62. And then Abreu all the way out 84. But I agree that Abreu should be in front of Mountcastle, Walsh. So he's either at the end of this tier or
not Mountcastle, not Walsh. Sorry,
or he's like he's like the bottom of the mountain.
I think he fits better with the Olsen, Pete, Goldie than he does with the next group.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Abreu's average.
Up to you guys.
Abreu's average is not 261. That's not him. He's not a 260 hitter. So I'm expecting it to bounce back, even if it's not 290, which is his career. Of course, that's probably not going to happen, but he's a 275 hitter pretty regularly, I feel like.
One thing for sure is he's an RBI machine. I don't know what his batting average will be, but when he's got runners on base, he gets them in.
I guess here's the thing. I expect him. There's a much more likelihood of him falling back into Mountcastle Walsh than there is him this year going up into Olsen and Alonso.
Agreed.
I feel like he's literally the middleman between these.
Yeah, he is. I think
that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's like 1 Guerrero, 2 Freeman, then 3 Olsen, Goldschmidt, Alonso, and then 4 Abreu. Hi, I'm still here.
Anybody who needs their fix, no matter what it is, fantasy baseball, drugs.
Grab me now
He's
before
a good middleman.
question marks start to mount up.
Well, I guess here's my question for you. What's that different from him and Goldschmidt then?
Speed.
Yeah.
And Goldie will get you the stolen, 7 or 8 maybe?
Yeah, that's pretty much – that's the only difference. Well, last year he had 12, but –
Yeah, but do you think he'll do it again? He had more steals last year than he did the 3 previous years combined.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Are the 5 or 6 steals that we think we can get from Goldschmidt that much better than Abreu?
Oh, who's hitting in a better lineup? That's a good question too, right?
Goldie or Abreu?
Yeah,
it's Abreu.
So I would agree. But
on paper, it looks like Abreu.
Are we?
Right.
He just wanted us to validate him. We're validating Mike's socks on every show we do here.
Thank you.
Bottom line,
we're pretty much saying the same thing. It goes either way. Matt, 3 or 4? Dave?
4.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, 4 is. It leads tier 4.
All right.
So continuing that group.
Mountcastle is in this tier, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I think so is Walsh.
I think Jared Walsh leads this tier, frankly. I love Jared Walsh. I think what he does is real. We've seen it more than just one season now. I think it's very, very exciting where he can go. If you talk about potential, it's through the roof.
Then we have two non-traditional first base. Well, non-traditional first base numbers, right? In LeMahieu and Cronenworth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they gain they gain value in ADP because of their positions, not necessarily their actual ability as standalone first baseman. Are we considering that?
Bingo.
Because I have Bell and Crone ahead of them. If I'm just putting a guy at first, like if I'm drafting DJ or Crone, they're never going to first base for me ever.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
so
I got Ty France up there with him. I have the same feeling for Ty France, by the way.
I think I'm more likely to play France at first base, but than I am the other two.
I think Crone definitely deserves to be in this group.
Absolutely.
Bell and Crone. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'd put Bell and Crone both in this group.
I think they're all kind of the same. They're might not be as good as like Walsh or Mountcastle, but they're similar.
Yeah, really, Abreu, Mountcastle, Walsh, Bell, and Crone. It wouldn't shock me if they all kind of fell in the same general area, and really same value.
So let's break this down real quick. You'd be happy to have any of those guys, Mike. You're a smart man. Don't forget, Roto Fanatic is your friend. Roto_Fanatic on Twitter if you want to follow us. If you love our banter, that's a great place to see more of it, right? But is DJ LeMahieu and Cronenworth the debate here? I think we need to decide which one of these guys is out of this tier because at least one of them's got to be out, don't they?
Again, we're running into a weird, like you're saying, Matt. You're not taking these guys to fill your first base slot.
Yeah, let's imagine. Why don't we just make that the rule? We can even put it on the thing. Like if you draft, this is how we would draft you if we were putting you at first. And I think they're both out of the tier. They're both in the next.
Agreed.
tier.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we do with Ty France? A next tier too.
I want him in.
Up to you guys. I put France and Hoskins, Cronenworth, LeMahieu all in the next tier. But what do you guys think?
I think, I don't feel strongly about France being not. I think France belongs in that below tier 5.
What do you think?
I disagree. But does anyone else with me on? I would put him in this Walsh tier. I would.
You know what I worry about with France is I worry about the power. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get how many home runs he's going to hit, and I think we're talking about some of these other guys. They're all candidates for 30, and I feel like France.
I think they're all candidates for 40.
Yeah, well, sure, I can see that, but like France,
depending on which ball we get,
2020. Yeah, great point. 2022 for France seems to be like the high end, maybe for him. I don't know.
I mean, let's say he hits 290 with 20 to 25 home runs. That's not that different from LeMahieu, right? LeMahieu probably has a little less power depending on how much you believe.
Yeah, but I like France. I think he can lead. I mean, I think he belongs in the next tier, though, personally.
Can we call it the default tier? They're there by default, or they just all have eligibility, but they won't be there.
That's funny.
All right, let's do that. Let's do it.
Well, right now we have what? We have Abreu, Mountcastle, Walsh, Bell, and Crone in this tier.
Right,
what about moving down a couple? Because at least in the drafts I'm in, there is a lot of people very excited about this one player that is down, and that's Joey Votto. Joey Votto is being drafted above Crone, Bell, Cronenworth. He's being drafted above all these guys I've seen in some drafts. What are your thoughts on Votto? Because, I mean, there's plenty of analysts that think what he did last year, this subtracting average for power, is completely repeatable. And if he does, he should be in this tier. But, does the question mark just knock him down into the one we're talking about with, the Cronenworth, France Hoskins one?
I love it. Matt. You're speaking my language on this one big time. Votto is absolutely capable of doing this again. There's a great Sports Illustrated article that came out last summer about him and his big breakdown of how he came to be the player he is now. He's going to strike out more, and the batting average will go down. He won't be the OBP stud he used to be, but 30, 35 home runs, no problem. No problem at all, especially in that ballpark.
So we're not worried about age at all, 38?
Well, no.
Not this time. I'm not.
I think he can do it again. It's just, do you put him in that tier we were just talking about, or is he going to the next one because of the age? I can see either way. I would say I think he probably deserves to be in that second tier, but I can see putting him in the first. That's why I wanted to just bring it up.
I would put him in the second tier simply because of the fact I don't think the RBIs are going to be there. I mean, he would 73 RBIs last year with 36 home runs. That's absurd.
Yeah, their lineup's gonna stink.
Well, he had 99 RBIs.
How many RBIs did he have?
99.
Oh, did he really? Oh,
He had 75
right here on the screen.
Runs scored.
Oh, I can't, Mike. I'm sorry, I can't see the screen.
That's okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
so we got Abreu, Mountcastle, Walsh, Bell, Crone, and that's it.
I'm good with putting Votto there.
Everyone, all right, hold on. How many votes for Votto in that tier?
I think me and
In the
Gobi
upper
had-
tier?
Yeah.
I could do that. I guess.
All right, I'm good. And at the very end of that tier, I'm good with that.
All right, Votto's the end of that tier. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have our
column. Okay.
We have our guys that we're not drafting as first baseman, but have first base eligibility in LeMahieu, Cronenworth, and France.
I'm drafting France. I would, but yes, I agree with your opinion there.
Max Muncy.
I think Hoskins is in that group.
Yeah,
Hoskins for me too.
Max
Muncy,
Muncy?
yeah. Nah, maybe a couple tiers.
Oh no.
Too early for him.
Yeah. There's too much uncertainty with Muncy
I
in
think
that elbow. No way.
now, I mean, for today, I've seen some reports that say he may not be ready to the All-Star break. So it's hard to.
Right.
We'll have to come back for him.
Yeah. On January 12th, at bats for Muncy are very skeptical right now. No.
Oh God. Well, the next first baseman by ADP is Tyler Stevenson, which we can just skip that one entirely.
Yeah, don't even add him in. No one's.
All right.
Yeah,
I think that's the end of that tier, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that tier,
the next,
yes.
The next guy's Rizzo.
I think Hoskins deserves to be in this tier. I do not think Rizzo does.
All right, that's fine.
I think Rizzo belongs in there with Kiriloff and Mancini.
So we have LeMahieu, Cronenworth, France, Hoskins in that tier 5.
Does anyone think that Guriel with his batting average, Mancini bouncing back possibly? Does anyone think any of those guys deserve to be in?
Yeah, I was also, if you're making that case, I feel like the lineup got so much better now that Nate Lowe is pretty exciting. There's a lot of excitement there with all the new tools he has to play with. I think it's worth I think it's worth looking at least.
I think he kind of fits in with that next group though.
The next group has so many just.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next group could be big. Kiriloff, Rizzo, Mancini, Guriel, Shoop, Lowe.
Brandon
Well,
Belt.
if everybody sees it that way, that's fine.
Belt.
Al back in there.
Brandon Belt should be in the Vlad Guerrero tier.
I do too.
All right, so
There it is. Go
so
Giants,
Rizzo.
Paul.
Rizzo leads this tier, right?
Yeah.
I think he's the guy that has the most potential for fluidity, but he was just so bad last year.
Well, okay, so is this the Hoskins tier? I'm getting confused for a second.
No, we're starting the one below. So
Hoskins was with all the second basemen.
Got it. Okay. So this is the Rizzo Kiriloff
Hoskins had
tier.
a crazy good season last year. He played like half the year. He hit like 27 home runs.
Yeah, the pop is there. I want him for the power, no doubt.
He's like the
if
best
healthy.
power hitter in baseball that's never hit 30 home runs.
It's bizarre. So bizarre.
That could change.
His rookie year was one of my most exciting fantasy stories I love to share. Man, he was so exciting. But at any rate, and by the way, we clear out Scope too. I'm not putting Scope in this. This is NFBC ADP again. So we're not using Jonathan Scope or Lamont Wade Jr. or Tsutsugo. There's a bunch of guys here that we'll just clear out that if you're following along, we'd be ignoring as well.
Hold on, why are we ignoring him?
I mean, in this tier.
All right, so
hold on. What about? I like Jonathan Schoop. Hold on, why are we ignoring him again?
As a first baseman, I'm completely ignoring him. Completely.
Well, I think at this point of the draft,
it's your middle corner.
You could put him, middle or corner. So I'm fine because I think he belongs in this group for sure.
All right, so Rizzo, Kiriloff, Mancini, Guriel, all are fine in this group, right?
Yeah.
No.
Any love for Luke Voigt at all? I know he doesn't have the biggest ADP, but I'm looking at his steamer, and it's
he was another guy that I had a question mark about. I just don't know where does he fit?
28 home runs.
He's
as of right now, if we're assuming he is the Yankees starting first baseman, then he belongs in this group.
He plays so hard. I expect injury. I mean, you guys can talk this out. He's off my list. I literally crossed his name off. So
I didn't know where to put him. I had him rated down so low. I don't know what to make of him.
Yeah, I think too many question marks with his health. Can't stop himself from getting hurt.
I mean,
Yep.
All right, that's fine.
I don't know.
I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, it went back to college. I remember when I did my breakdown on him last year. This guy has a football mentality, and he literally goes hard after everything. That's why if you see some of these things, it ain't like him like doing fluky things. It's him like rowing into walls, like just doing stuff too hard and not the proper like fluid way they teach you to do mechanics. Like a lot of his injuries are like not are preventable, but he like bull in a china shop. And I don't think he can get past himself. He's his own worst enemy.
So can they make him the
And his
DH
knees
then?
are in trouble issue.
What if they
I
make him
think
the
they
DH?
can't make him the DH with Judge and Stanton in the house
And
Yeah,
Gallo and Hicks and
Sanchez.
You could throw him in there
So many
though.
problems. Oh my god.
he'll be in that grouping, but I don't think he's gonna play.
Like wasn't
I don't know.
Stanton?
I think they get Matt Olson, and this is a moot point.
Yeah, I think right now I
Okay.
agree with you. Right now he is as of today, he's the starting first baseman for the Yankees.
What do you want to do right now, then?
Okay, so if he gets traded to the A's, obviously he'll start there. Any chance he's the DH there then?
would say
Probably.
just-
Yeah, but I don't like that park anymore either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be a bad part.
I feel like I think I have him in the next.
I mean, I would rather have Jesus Aguilar than Luke Voigt.
Yes.
Regardless. So
Yeah, for sure.
if that says anything about where I think he belongs tier wise.
All right, so we're gonna put Voigt to lead the next one, but we can come back. Or Voigt's in the next one, but we can come back. So right now we have Rizzo, Kiriloff, Mancini, Guriel. I'm kind of with Matt and pro Jonathan Scope in this one. Anybody?
It's fine.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
so not for. I want to be on the record to not. No.
He's gonna
That's
put
fine.
up. He's gonna put up similar numbers to most of these guys, though.
I'd be surprised if he does as a first baseman, but maybe you'll prove me wrong. Hey, we'll find out. We will certainly find out. He'll have a streak. He'll have an amazing streak during the season that
wasn't
will
he
go on
better-
for like a month straight.
Wasn't he better last year than both Mancini and Rizzo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
you know what you're
I
getting. with
still-
him, though. You know what you're getting. You're getting 20
I think
plus
he,
home runs. It's the same thing. It happens every year. So
Yeah.
it's a good base to have.
Yeah.
You're right about what happened last year, but I'm looking at this year and I'm not buying that again. So
Well,
I
Detroit
like him.
Detroit liked him enough to bring him back. That's always a good sign.
Oh yeah, he's cheap as hell. It's great. I mean, they love that here. But they're
about
part of a
Frank-
good team. You're right. The Tigers are good and he's legit.
Frank Schwindel, I'd boot out of this tier.
Well, I was gonna say the last guy
I
that
just
I think
don't.
should be
No
in it
way
is Gallo.
Jonathan Scope hits 278 again. There's no way he hits 270. If he hits 260, I'll be impressed this year. I will.
I mean, I put Lowe and Dalbec in the tier.
See, I don't put either.
I
of them.
had Dahlbeck here too, but I don't. I mean, I'm open to any suggestions.
Yeah, I'm
obviously.
open for arguments. I think Dalbec's a 40 home run hitter here.
I think there's a chance for that. I just don't think he.
At this point of the draft, though, I mean, if you could get a guy that's got that kind of potential, do you
Well, I guess my argument
Okay.
tier-wise is if I'm sitting there and need a first baseman and I see Rizzo and all these guys and I have an option to take an outfielder or a pitcher I want, I'm not jumping at any of those. I'm fine with any of these names, including Dalbec being my first baseman, and I don't feel a difference.
Is Dahlbeck considerably different than Miguel Sano?
Yes, because Dalbec actually proven he made actual changes to be better, and he's young enough to to continue to grow.
I like Dahlbeck a lot. I think the fact that he pretty much did not play whatsoever in the playoffs is a really bad sign for him.
I'm gonna go take a shower.
Okay.
I would agree.
If he played in the playoffs for them, then sure, I'm all for it. But I really think they wanted nothing to do with him playing in games that mattered for them.
I think that had a lot to do with the DH and non-DH.
He didn't play at all though, and they used Arroyo over him at first base at times, and
Yeah, he had an OBP of under 3 in 417 at bats. Man, that's not great either.
Well, you can't
I don't-
him. You have to judge by splits only. His first half and second half, he was a completely different player after after they got Kyle Schwarber.
Ah, okay, that's interesting.
I mean, I'm fine with him leading off the next tier though. So I'm
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
There's question
Absolutely.
mark. You either buy in or you don't. If there's question marks, you can put him in the next tier. What about Lowe? I know Davey was talking him up.
was me.
That wasn't me.
Oh,
It was
That'd
my-
be
it was
me. I like the lineup. It could be fun, but hey, who the hell knows? It could be a fluke. He
Are they
also
stolen- are the
has this
stolen
weird
bases
steal
bullshit?
situation.
Was it
Were
all
stolen
of his?
bases were they bullshit?
I don't
happened
think
at the
they
beginning
were.
of the
He's
year, I
not
think.
that.
Well, all of his home runs happened in the first like 2 weeks, right?
Yes, there's a lot of weird, like temporary situations with him in terms of streakiness and moments that happened early on in the steals with his percentile speed. Is it he's not even that fast, yada yada yada, but he's not terribly slow either. And
See, I think he feels more like Dahlbeck to me.
So we
Like
got
in the-
Rizzo, Muncy, Mancini, Guriel, Shoop. That's it.
So I have Rizzo, Kiriloff, Mancini, Guriel, Shoop. I've said it a few times and been ignored, but I think Belt belongs in that group.
I did. I
nobody
like
thinks
Bell, too.
Torkelson's going to be an impact player this year.
I don't think you. I mean, you don't know. I mean, he could be terrible.
Yeah.
It's just rookies. Belt.
Oh,
Can't
he won't
say
be
how-
terrible, but it's a matter of playing time.
Belt.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think-
it's proven that he can't be healthy enough.
Uh,
I mean, at this point, I don't think he. I think every of those other players, other than Kiriloff, who you're drafting him for projectability, he obviously hasn't been that healthy either. But the rest of them, you're drafting to get yourself some at bats. With Belt, you're assured of not having a bunch of them. That's my only argument against him. I wouldn't feel comfortable with him as my.
Everybody in this tier has a flaw.
I know, but like missing possibly a quarter of the season or more is a pretty big flaw.
I get what you're saying. Matt.
Agreed. No, that's true.
The grouping is bankable at bats pretty much, and he's not that. All right, that's fine.
So do we put Aguilar in the last tier, or is he leading this one?
I think
No,
I think Aguilar's in the
he's-
Dahlbeck, Belt, Low, whatever one he is.
Yeah.
Whichever one he is.
Okay.
Nice.
Whichever
So-
one that is.
So we have Voigt, Dahlbeck, Belt. What is it? It's Low, whatever it is. Aguilar, Sano, Torkelson,
Oh,
Schwindel.
What are we doing with Schwindel?
Schwindel's got to be in this group, right?
Wouldn't have to be, but what do you guys think?
exciting.
Man, I'm not a huge fan.
He's gonna get a shot.
You're not.
Yeah, he's going to play. I mean, it would appear at this point.
Why are you not a huge fan, Mike? Did something happen? Did he
No, I just
get a home run against the White Sox?
I don't care about that stuff.
Well, breakouts at his age usually don't stick. That's just
I just don't. Him and Wisdom are guys I just don't believe in it.
But I mean, if you look at this tier behind, he seems like he belongs more in this tier we're talking about than the tier behind it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's
Yeah,
probably
like he's
true.
not. I'm guessing we're kind of cutting this off soon, but he's not Hosmer, Tellez, Haven Smith.
Yep.
Right. He's better than those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
agreed.
we'll put him in here. We'll put him here.
All right. So I have Voigt, Dahlbeck, Belt, Nathaniel, Schwindel. ADP wise, we have Aguilar, Sano, and Torkelson.
Yep.
Everybody good with them in this group?
Wait, Tellez is still not involved here because Tellez is still someone with an incredible bat who is now going to get the opportunity. Like he got a chance there late in the season. He showed a little bit of flash here and there, but I think now is the year where because Keston Guriel, he's gone. Forget that. I'm not worried about him at first. I think Tellez really gets a shot, especially with the DH being involved this year. I really think he belongs up here.
and never given really a fair shot in Toronto.
That's true. He's never really had an opportunity, and he's still a relatively young guy, right?
It's 26.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. This is all.
I mean,
right.
I think he's in a platoon.
Who's he platooning with?
But if
Solo,
they
probably.
get a DH, he probably won't.
Yeah, and that's pretty much assured. I think we all agree. Although I think the DH might go a lot to Tyrone Taylor, or to keep Kane or Yelich off the field.
Yeah. Good point.
I see him in the line. Yeah.
If he plays, I would agree. I'm not sure. I'm not comfortable with the amount of at bats I expect him to get, but I can see it. I can see it. I don't have a problem putting him here. I don't have a problem putting him here.
All right. Let's have him
I'm
finish.
not worried about Jace Peterson.
I think he has.
Yeah.
I think he has more at bats than Brandon Belt.
He could.
Brandon Belt's at bats are just so much better when he gets them, though.
No, it's true.
They
No,
are.
I'm just talking about pure at bats.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well,
Are we-
So
so So where I'm looking at this, I'm skipping Lamont Wade because I don't think anybody's going to play him at first base. We have like around Tellez, we have Hosmer, Pavin Smith, Yandy Diaz, Yoshi Tetsugo. Who do we think Tellez should be in his own group there, or is that group about where I think he fits?
I would bump up Bobby Bradley, actually. I think he's going to start.
I haven't finished. We haven't. Do you want Bradley in the Aguilar, Dahlbeck, that grouping? I don't think he goes there, right?
No, but if I think he could be with Tellez. I think he's going to.
I guess is Tellez in that one above, or is Tellez in that group with?
Oh, I thought you were talking
Hosmer
about Tellez
Smith
on his own. Okay.
Hosmer Smith.
Yeah, I think I do Hosmer. Yeah, the Hosmer Smith, even Yandy.
That's your Tellez.
Yeah, Yandy.
Carlos Santana.
All right, so we have Tellez, Hosmer, Pavin Smith. How do we feel there?
I like Pavin Smith. I don't know if he's the playing time. I'm a little worried about possibly, but the Diamondback stinks, so that's fun. I like him though. I definitely am a fan. I'm excited about his future.
I think he's fine to put in this group. Yandy Diaz, Tetsuga, those two guys fit in this group.
Yandy Diaz, watch for home runs. Remember how long I waited for Yandy Diaz to hit a home run? It was so exciting last year to watch it finally happen.
And then we're good with
Pavin. I mean, where's Pavin playing? Are they going to play him in the outfield? Because Walker's starting at first.
Is he the beneficiary? He's probably the beneficiary.
That's what I'm saying. That's
well, they dropped Cole Calhoun, right? They got rid of him, and so now
Pavin's just going to play in the outfield.
Maybe he's going to play right field. I don't see any reason why they're going to hold on to like guys like Peralta. I mean, they probably going to move him at some point, right? They got to free up some spots for some of these younger guys that are coming up.
The DH will be Seth Beer when he's ready when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy. Yep. Don't forget Jordan Luplo's on this team, guys. Very exciting.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, Walker's ADP is way lower than I think it should be, but Walker's in this group, right?
Yes, I'd much rather have Tellez in this whole group, though.
So then you think he's got to go up one?
Yeah, he's either. It's too stupid to put him in his own tier.
He's got to go up one then. That's fine. So right now we have Hosmer Smith, Diaz, Tetsugo, Bradley, Christian Walker, Carlos Santana.
Yeah, I think Wilmer will get enough at bats, but you're probably playing him at second and third if we want to skip that.
Yeah. Then we have Hira.
No.
Ruff and Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Juan Yepez.
I love Yepez. It's just a matter of opportunity and playing time. But our guy, what our Roto Fanatic pal, Phil Goyette, loves Juan Yepez. He was huge on him last season. And if he just gets an opportunity, that's the major question, though.
It'll be tough, though, because I actually don't mind their outfield. And I think Nootbaar could hold down a lot of a DH at bats.
I think he will, too.
Exactly.
So I think Yepez, I think that he won't be up as early as a lot of people are hoping he will be.
Well,
there's just no opportunity.
Do we need another tier of guys that are like they're interesting?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
I mean, there's not that many people to put in it. There's Prado and Yepez, and that's it.
G-Man Choi is useful at times, so let's not dismiss him entirely. If Yandy Diaz was on this list, Choi, in my opinion, at least should be involved.
Honorable mention: Yepez, Prado.
So exciting! Honorable mention. Woohoo! Yay!
I mean, if there's a DH, Colin Moran plays, right?
Colin Moran doesn't currently have a team.
He doesn't have a job. Yeah,
that's right.
Who's he playing for?
If you've been released by the Pirates, you have problems.
I forgot about that.
The Pirates released. Yeah, they cleaned house. The Pirates. If you cleaned house on the Pirates, you're right, Matt. That is frightening.
I mean, Yepez and Casas. I mean, you're not drafting either of them in redraft because they're not going to be up for a long time. But if anyone's not, if no one's on board the Bobby Dahlbeck train, Tristan is definitely a guy you want your eye on.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
a
feel
good
like
point.
that's
some prospects here.
It's the prospects here. Yeah. Do we have? Does Miguel Cabrera get a mention anywhere?
Hey, he's gonna play.
Does he
He's
go?
Gonna get his 3,000th hit. Nobody cares.
This tier with prospects, or does he go in the tier above where it's?
I thought this was just honorable mention.
I guess honorable mention.
Does
What about, I mean, Brad Miller, Brad Miller's going to impact this season coming up in some way at some point. He always does, man.
Good God.
He'll have that 7 RBI game with the 2 home runs in the middle of summer for some team. I don't know which team it'll be.
What about a guy like Matt Verlaine? Matt, you see him. I mean, is he got a chance to get any at-bats if there's a DH in Philly?
Don't think so. I mean, if we're going with him, we're gonna have to talk about a lot more guys.
No, I was just wondering. I mean, because he seems like he's been a guy that's he's hit wherever he's been, and I know it was a very short sample last year, but he looked pretty good in a couple of games that I saw him in. But I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable enough to draft him.
Yeah, gotcha.
He got hurt. Oh, go ahead. Who are you going to say?
No, go ahead.
Edwin Rios got hurt last year. He missed most of the season, but he's still young. He's got tremendous pop, and he's on a really good team. And I know they still got a lot of veterans.
That's what I was bringing up. No, but if Max Muncy is out long term, I mean, are they going to move Cody Bellinger in to play first?
No, they're just going to play Matt Beattie.
Edwin Rios is healthy though. He could get in there. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure Gavin Lux doesn't see the field. You got to remember that.
No doubt.
Do we? I mean, it's not the same thing, but like
How about a final tier? Don't forget this guy's alive. You can put in there with Rios.
I mean, I
Rios
feel like
definitely needs to be on your list of first basemen for this total package overall. He needs to be there.
I have right now the honorable mentions. We have prospects in Yepez, Prado, Cassis. Miguel Cabrera is still alive. Brad Miller may get 7 RBIs in a game.
Put Colin Moran. I mean, he could easily sign on a minor deal, not minor league, but tiny deal with the A's once they clean house. He could totally grab some at bats there.
Tiny minor league deal.
And then I have like Lewin Diaz on here. Mm-hmm. Rios makes worth mentioning. I mean, we can write Rios / Beatty, right? One of them is probably a beneficiary of.
Mm-hmm. Hey, how about Darren Ruff? He's available first.
He's
can always get a bats once.
Talk about splits
down, but I mean, they love to platoon there. They use him in the outfield. He did pretty good for them last year.
He's a DFS star. A DFS star.
Does he deserve to be in the group with the other? Is he in this honorable mention group or in the group above it? Because the production's really good. It's just limited in at bats.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I think honorable mention seems like a Darren Ruff kind of tier. Mm-hmm. Seems like fair. A group.
Yeah, it doesn't feel weird.
Party with. Yeah, Flores is with them. They'll get along.
If we're putting in some prospects, keep an eye on Kansas City with Prado and Pasquantino too.
Did we put Prado in this
one? We have Prado, yeah.
Did we have it? Okay. Well, Pasquantino too, though. I don't know. He tore it up last year, so he could be up. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but with
Josh Fuentes, anybody?
No, thank you.
I didn't make that loud enough.
Evan White. Is he still alive?
Let's just stop.
Poor Evan White. What a great call.
Are we trolling the audience at this point?
That wasn't.
If someone brought up Bobby Bradley earlier, Yu Chang could totally get some at bats.
Yep.
Especially when J-Ram gets traded.
Yeah. That's
we're
a guy that's fun.
We're jumping the shark here.
No, it's fun. That guy's fun. Yu Chang is fun. There's a lot. He can play multiple positions too, and he's a guy that you will probably have on your roster, especially if you're in 15-team leagues. I guarantee you, Yu Chang will be involved at some point in the season. But that's enough. Let's just end this. This has been a fun run, and hopefully.
Wait. Actually, real quick, do we need to mention Profar or no?
I'm so glad you said that because this show would not be the same.
No, you can because I mean, there's a point where. It's always nice to have a guy with multiple eligibility on the bench. As of today, he is the starting left fielder for the Padres. I think they add someone else to ruin that, but you could certainly have a team where I could see having 5 outfielders you'd rather play, but want to sneak him in there as your corner infielder. I could see it. So I'd stick him in there.
All right.
Only if we add Justin Smoke.
Isn't he in Japan?
I think so. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, so that's there we go.
Yeah, Mike, I don't have any more guys I want to throw out there.
Did you say CJ Nitkowski?
John Nagowski.
All right, there it is.
He had his day in the sun last year.
Yes, we had joy.
I'm
We
getting
had
slap
fun.
happy now.
Travis Shaw.
Oh yeah, that Travis Shaw. Yep, here we go. He'll probably factor in at some point. Now we're just like, hey, who's gonna show up one day of the season and make an impact? Yeah, that's possible.
This is like the Royal Rumble. We're just naming people that could show up.
All right, first base. There it is. We hope you enjoyed it. Roto Fanatic. We try to, give you what you want, and you wanted that deep dive on first base. You got it here. Sub our YouTube channel if you made it this far, all the way to the end of the video. Thank you so much. It's not easy to do all the time, and we thought we provided something of value. In fact, I feel pretty good about it. So check out rotofanatic.com. Roto_fanatic on Twitter is our follow there, and the Data Monster has got some good stuff coming up, right, Paul?
Yes, it does. We're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna do a Data Monster type MLB Network shredder type thing. Hopefully, people like it better than they like the shredder, where we rank each position, and some cool stuff coming there.
See where the shredder puts Jose Abreu.
Number 1.
That sounds about right. Yeah, based on the memes I've seen. That's awesome. Very cool. And don't forget to check out the other positional videos on our playlist right here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe. It's like one of the end of those videos. You ever watch videos on YouTube and at the end the person does the formula like, hey, thanks for watching. While you're here, why don't you sub? One of those things. That's what this is. So do that now. Okay. That's it. Mike Carter, Davey Funnel, Paul Mamino, Matt Williams, Michael Govier. Thank you so much for your time and energy. And that's it for the Roto Fanatic positional analysis of first base.